Hi and welcome to Learn Grammar with Vibenglish. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about the verb to be. We will look at its forms and as well we will look at the uses. Let's have a look at this introduction. Present simple of the verb to be. This is Angelina Jolie. She's a famous actress. She isn't from the UK. She is American. Her films are very popular worldwide. Let's look at the verb to be and its positive forms. As you can see, we have the positive long forms and the positive short forms. The positive short forms are commonly used when we are speaking in English or sometimes in informal writing. Let's run through them. I am American, you are American, he, she, it is American, we are American, you are American, they are American. And the short forms, I'm American or I'm from America, you're American, he's, she's, it's American, we're American, you're American, and they're American. It's important to see here that the verb to be is an irregular verb as the forms change depending on the subject. So this is something that obviously is difficult to memorize or to learn for some students. Let's look at the negative form of the verb to be. As well, we can see here the long form and the short forms. I am not American, you are not American, he, she, it is not American, we are not American, you are not American, and they are not American. The short forms here, we have I'm not American. As you can see, this short form is a little different to the others. We can only contract I'm. You aren't American, he isn't, she isn't, it isn't American. We aren't American, you aren't American, and they aren't American. Let's discuss the uses of the verb to be. We use the verb to be to describe people and also objects or things. This is my mother, she isn't a doctor, she's a teacher, or our car is big, and my sisters are both married. This would be a common mistake that some students make, I not married, where the student has forgotten to actually put the verb to be. The correct way would be I'm not married. As we explained before, the short forms are commonly used in natural English. Okay, so I'm not, you're, when we are speaking and also in informal writing. We can also use the verb to be to talk about our feelings or ideas. For example, we're hot and thirsty, the book is boring, his films are popular. And also we can use it to describe a position or time. For example, my car is near the entrance of the building and it's 7 o'clock. We use the verb to be and not the verb to have in the following examples as well. This is also a common mistake where students tend to use the verb to have because of their mother tongue, especially with Spanish students. I have cold, the correct way would be I'm cold. I have hungry. Obviously we would say I'm hungry, and she has 10 years old, which would be incorrect. In English we express our age by saying or by using the verb to be, she's 10 years old. In the next two slides we have some exercises to practice the verb to be. And here we have we have to read the information and write sentences about these famous people using the short forms. So here's the information: comedian, not American, from Toronto, Canada, not married, 1.75 meters tall, very funny. And for the second singers, they are very rich, American, and not from Los Angeles. In the following exercise, there are 7 more mistakes in the description where you need to correct them. I'll just quickly read through them, or through the description I mean. Brandon Marcio are my best friend. He's South African and he am a singer. He's very good at singing and playing the guitar, but he not famous. He's 22 and he not married. Brandon and his girlfriend not are very rich, but they is very happy together. Brandon's a very kind and friendly person. He a really nice guy is. So have a go at these 2 exercises and see how you go. The next slide shows the verb to be in its question form. I will just read through the positive questions. Okay, you can also obviously have a look at the negative ones. Am I famous? Are you famous? Is he, she, it famous? Are we famous? Are you famous? And are they famous? What's really important to have a look at is the word order. In English, the word order for questions is different to the positive or affirmative sentence structure. If we have a question word, we would start with it, and then we would have the auxiliary verb, in this case the verb to be, then the subject, and then the adjectives or nouns. For example, is Mary from Italy? Here we don't have question word. Where am I? Who are you? So we can see that the auxiliary and the subject are in a different position in the sentence. The uses of the verb to be in questions. We can use the verb to be to ask about names, nationalities, jobs, and families. For example, what's your name? Is James French? Are they doctors? Is she your sister? We can also use the verb to be to ask about feelings. Are you happy? Is he tired? Or how are you? And to ask about the position and time. Where is the dog? Is your house near here? Or what time is it? Please remember that in questions we put the verb to be before the subject. So let's have a look at some common mistakes. We could find that students say you are hungry. The correct way would be, are you hungry? Or what your job is. The correct way would be, what's your job? And the short answers, this is something important. We usually use the short form of the verb to be in short answers with no, so the negative. Is he American? No, he isn't. But we don't use the short form in short answers with yes, so the positive. Are they doctors? We cannot say yes, they're. So we would have to say yes, they are. So positive sentences use positive and long form answers, not the short forms. Here we have some more exercises. Okay, in this case you have to write questions using the words below. Here's an example for you. So remember to think about that word order in the questions, and here write true short answers for you. For example, are you American? No, I'm not. The questions here are you a teacher? Are you a student? Are you Spanish? Are you married? Are your parents doctors? Is your house in a big city? Is Brad Pitt American? Are Mercedes cars German? Or is it summer now? And just close to finishing off here, we have the verb to be in the past tense. So the verb to be only has 2 forms in the past. We have was and were, depending on the subject of the sentence. I will just run through the positive past tense of the verb to be. You can obviously have a look at the negative and the questions. So here we have I was famous, you were famous, she, he, it was famous, we were famous, you were famous, and they were famous. It's also important to add here that we don't use any other auxiliary verb like do in the questions, because the verb to be is already an auxiliary verb in English, so we don't need to put the auxiliary do or any other. And to finish off, here are other forms of the verb to be. So we have the past participle being. This is the form of the verb to be used with the perfect and the passive tenses, and it is the same for all the subjects. So Annie has been working all day. As you can see, this is the present perfect tense. John and Stuart have been swimming for an hour. We can also find the continuous form of the verb to be, being. Have a look at the difference in pronunciation. We have being, so it's quite long, and been, it's a little shorter. The continuous form of the verb to be is used to make up the continuous tenses. Just as the past participle, it's the same for all the subjects. So we have an example, Mary is being helpful. And lastly, the passive. The verb to be, both in its present and past forms, can be used to make passive sentences. The examples here, the house was built in 1870, so we have here the verb to be, and the video is being filmed now. So it's very important to know your verb to be because it will be used in obviously different verb tenses and as well in the passive. So I hope you have enjoyed this lesson about the verb to be, and if you would like to improve your English skills, why not have a free trial lesson with us at www.vibenglish.com or contact us at info@vibenglish.com. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.